Perek Yutes Mishnah Hey. This Mishnah discusses various cases where the bris is not going to be on day 8, but it can be on either day 9, 10, 11, or even 12. Now, by way of introduction, we've noted previously that a bris can be doche Shabbos. The Mishnah says, the Pasuk says, V'yom hashmini yimol or lasoi. And the Gemara darshans afidu b'Shabbos, that you can be doche Shabbos for a bris milah. But that is only true if A, it's a Yom Shmini, it's a day 8, and not if it's a delayed, postponed bris. You cannot have a bris being Mechal Shabbos if it's a non-Bismano bris. And second of all, only if it's a Vadai day 8 and not any Sofik. Once there's any Sofik whatsoever, for example, the Andrein or whatever it is, then you cannot be Mechal Shabbos. Now, that's the introduction. Now the Mishnah is going to set out the various cases where you could have a bris which is beyond the day 8, and the earliest opportunity to do so is either 9, 10, 11, or 12 days after the child is born. So, says the Mishnah, Kotzen nimo l'shmoina l'tisha l'asara. A child can have his bris milah on day 8, 9, 10, or l'chadas or 11, l'shnemos or 12, lo pachas v'lo yoseh, not less than 8 days, and not more than 12 days. In other words, there's a situation where you cannot, where you never have to wait more than 12 days in a normal situation. It seems strange when it says lo pachas. Of course, you can't go less than day 8. How can you give a 3-year-old, a 3-day-old, or a 7-day-old baby his bris? So the Tiferes Yisrael says that it means that it's even referring to a situation where the father maybe knows that there's no moel in town, and he's here right now on day 7. Even in such a situation, you should not do the bris milah and before 8 days. So now the Mishnah sets out exactly how we have all these different cases. Hoketza, how is this so? Kadarko l'shmono. A normal situation, the baby will have his bris 8 days after he is born. So for example, a child is born on a Tuesday lunchtime, then his bris will be the following Tuesday. Tuesday, of course, that is day 1. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So the following Tuesday will be his bris. And if he's born on a Shabbos morning, then the following Shabbos, so long as the baby is well, he will have his bris on day 8. That's Kadarko. Note the Bein Hashmoshes. If a child is born during Bein Hashmoshes, which is twilight, the time between sunset and night, Nima Letisha, then he will have his bris on day 9. Now, let's just give about an introduction to this. This is something we came across, this machlokus, this definition of what Bein Hashmoshes is. We came across this in Perek Beis Mishnah Zayin. Now there, we discussed the famous machlokus, what exactly is Bein Hashmoshes. The machlokus Rabbeinu Tam and the Gaonim. Briefly, just to remind ourselves, the machlokus is this. The Gaonim say that Bein Hashmoshes is the period between Shkia, sunset, and night. And that's how perhaps most people are familiar with the concept of Bein Hashmoshes. The Rabbeinu Tam, however, brought in Tosfos Shabbos Lamed Hey, says that there are 2 sunsets. The first sunset is when the sun actually goes beyond the horizon, sort of drops below the horizon, and then it's removed from our sight, and it's still actually fairly bright because there is still illumination from the sun, even though it's dropped beyond the horizon. And for the next 58.5 minutes, the sky is fairly illuminated, and that's considered the first sunset. When the sun sets 58 minutes after it first disappears from below the horizon. Now, then there's this period of the next 13.5 minutes, which is the second Bein Hashmoshes, where it's quite dark now, and that's a sophic whether it's day or whether it's night. And then finally 13.5 minutes, which is 72 minutes after the sun originally has dropped below the horizon, then that is considered Vadai Laila. So Bein Hashmoshes, however you understand it, either according to the Gaonim, the straightforward from when the sun drops below the horizon until it actually is dark, until night, they say 13.5 minutes, whatever that is, or according to the Rabbeinu Tam, the Sofik Yom, Sofik Laila, which would be the second sunset, 13.5 minutes before it's Vadai night. If a child is born then his bris is going to be 9 days after he's born. So for example, let's say a child is born on a Monday late afternoon. So there's a shaila whether he's born Ben Hashmoshes on Monday late afternoon. Is a shaila whether that's considered Monday or maybe it's considered Tuesday. So if you were to have the bris the following Monday on day 8, you can't do that. Because maybe on the Sunday he was born on a Tuesday, then you're giving this kid a bris on day 7. So you've got to wait for Tuesday, which is 9 days after the day before the Ben Hashmoshes. So that's the case of a 9-day-old baby. Ben Hashmoshes shel erev Shabbos nimala asara. If, however, a child is born on Friday, late Friday afternoon, and again it's Ben Hashmoshes, it's Sofek Yom, Sofek Laila, maybe it's Friday, maybe it's Shabbos already. So then nimala asara, he cannot have his bris the following Friday, which is day 8 after the first possibility of when he's born, because maybe that's day 7 for him. Because he could have been born on Shabbos. He can't have his bris on Shabbos, because if on the Tzadi he was born on a Friday, then the following Shabbos is actually day 9, and it's only a day 8 Vada baby, which is Deiche Shabbos. And therefore his bris will have to be on Sunday, which is 10 days after the Friday, because it's Friday, Shabbos, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Shabbos, Sunday, which is 10 days after the initial day, the day before the Ben Hashmoshes. Yom Tov la'achar Shabbos. If that Sunday, however, is a Yom Tov, Nimel la'achad asar, he can't have his bris that day, and he'll have to wait till day 11, which is the Monday. And Shnei Yom Tovim she Rosh Hashanah, if it's Sunday and Monday, which is Rosh Hashanah, then Nimel l'shnei asar. Then he will have his bris on the Tuesday, which is 12 full days after, or not full days, 12 days after the Friday, which is the first possibility, the day before the Ben Hashmoshes. Now, there's an interesting machlokus when it says over here in the Mishnah, Shnei Yom Tovim shel Rosh Hashanah. Is that Dafka Rosh Hashanah, or is that any Yom Tov? Any Yom Tov, Pesach, Sukkot, Shavuos, is it that as well? So the Rosh learns that when it says Shnei Yom Tovim shel Rosh Hashanah, then it's lav Dafka Rosh Hashanah, but the same would be true if it was Yom Tov shel Goliath. And therefore, if let's say it was Shavuos on a Sunday or Monday, or if it was Sukkot on a Sunday Monday, I think because of the calendar, the way it works nowadays, there'd be Lo Adu Rosh, Pesach can't fall on a Sunday the first day. But even before the calendar was fixed, and there were Mekadesh al Pi Hariyah, even then, if says the Rosh, the Shnei Yom Tovim shel Rosh Hashanah, Hu Adin, if it was shel regular Yom Tov, we would not be doche Shabbos, we would not be doche, the second day of Yom Tov, in order to do this baby's bris, and therefore this child who was born Ben Hashmoshes on Friday, late Friday afternoon, you would wait until the Tuesday, which is the day after the Yom Tov Sheni Shel Goliath. The Beis Yosef paskins like that Rosh. The Rambam, however, learns that it's specifically Yom Tov Sheni Yom Tovim Shel Rosh Hashanah. Because the Rambam says that Rosh Hashanah is considered a Chad Yom Arichta, like one long day, and therefore you can't be Mechal the second day of Rosh Hashanah, just like you can't be Mechal the first day of Rosh Hashanah. But a Yom Tov Sheni Shel Goliath, where the second day is slightly different, it's not considered a Yom Arichta, it's considered Misfeka de Yoma, it's considered 2 separate days, and we keep the second day of Misfeka de Yoma, then says the Rambam, we would in fact be allowed to have the bris on the Monday afternoon, if it fell on the Sunday Monday, or the second day of Yom Tov Sheni Shel Goliath, then you would be able to have the bris, and the Shach paskins like that. So this is a debate which is rooted in how to understand this section of the Mishnah. The Mishnah concludes, Kotan hachoyle, a child who is sick, a baby who is unwell, ein moyalin oisei yavri. You can't do the bris milah until he gets better, until he fully recovers. The Bar Tzunura says, Ad yavri v'yavro of zayin yom shleimi me'es leis. You've got to wait 7 days, complete days, i.e. 7 times 24 hours, which is 168 hours, and you can't do the bris before 168 hours. V'achakach malanos, and then you do the milah. The Mechaba in Yeridea Siman Reish Samach Beis Halacha Beis says as follows: you can't do the bris of an unwell patient. You got to wait 7 days, 24 hours for each day. It's 168 hours. And then you can do the milah. When is that true? When he has a fever or something like that, where the illness affects kol haguf, his entire being. But if he only has some sort of illness which is limited to one limb of his body, Kagoin, for example, Shekev le Einov Keiv Mut, he has a very small pain in one of his eyes, or Chayotzi Bazer, or the like, Mamtinin le Yavri, you wait for him to get better, or la Achashayavri Malano so miyab, then you do the Mila straight away. And the remote adds on, that's when it says Avol Keiv le Einov, Keiv Godel Havi Choli Shel Kolaguf. An eye infection could be considered as a Choli Kolaguf. But so either way, we've seen, when we say we've got to wait for him, it depends what his illness is. If it's an illness which affects his whole body, then you wait 7 full days from when he recovers. If, however, it's a small illness which is limited to one ava, to one limb, then as soon as he recovers, then you can do the bris milah. That is the end of Mishnah Hay.